going on, everybody? This is Aaron Wilson for Inside the 49. I will be taking you through a little bit of information about Philip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts as prepare to take them on in a couple hours. My brother Chris might be joining us here shortly. He might not. We'll see what happens. But I did some deep dive today into the film just to kind of see what we're going to get from Rivers. And I wanted to share a couple of my thoughts and get you guys a little bit of insight in terms of what I see, what we're going to have to stop from Rivers, and what we're going to have to stop from Indianapolis Colts offense. So right now, as you see on the screen, you're going to see the Rivers against the Seahawks. And against the Seahawks, there's a couple of things that I kind of jumped out of the page to me in terms of what they're going to do with him. The first thing is he can still throw the ball. Obviously he had a solid NFL career for a number of years with the Chargers and then with the Colts at the tail end of his career. So he has the ability, even at a 44-year-old, to be able to still compete at the NFL level, but they're obviously going to only give him certain things to do. So the first thing that we see from him is the fact that he is accurate and he can hit on a variety of different throws in different situations. So that's the first thing that I saw. He also saw the screen game is pretty prevalent, like the quick screen game, which makes sense since he's been away from the game for a couple of years. That piece makes sense, and then it really comes out of the running game. But first, I'm going to show you just a couple of throws that I thought I was pretty impressed with him being on target and on point. So here's the first one. Let's go and get you here. Nice kind of perfect pass. Obviously, could have been a little bit more inside, a little bit more outside, but he did a really good job being in the right spot, throwing the ball to the right location. And this was a good throw for him. And a couple of throws like this, most of the stuff it was really short. There wasn't that stuff over 10 yards that he completed, if any. But here's another throw, kind of second throw from him as well that I thought was pretty on point and pretty where it needed to be. This is a nice back shoulder throw, first down for the Colts moving forward. And this was actually in a very key situation. This is right before they kicked the field goal to go up by, got by a couple points. So again, he's 44 years old, but he'll still have some skill and he can still, bring some quarterback skills to the table. The second thing that we saw from looking at film was really this idea of the screen game. You tried to get the screen game to a couple of different people. Tyler Warren, I think, is their best overall athlete on the offensive side of the ball, and they try to get the ball at him a couple different times on screen games. This one obviously didn't work very well, but he has the ability to get the ball to Warren in some space a couple of times on normal throws as opposed to the screen throws. But here's it is again from looking from the other side. So the screen game is definitely something that the Niners are going to have to take care of, just like Seattle took care of here. All right, so the next set of plays I want to go through is specific plays that I feel like we need to stop from them. And when it comes to specific plays, there's a couple run game plays that we need as the Niners. As I'm saying, we're Niners. We need to be able to stop. So this is one play where I call this inside zone, but with a kick out. So what you're going to get here is you're going to get a block here. You're going to get trying to go to the second level. You're going to get a block here, another second level block here, and second level again. This guy might come off of him and get to this backer as well. But what you're going to get is you're going to kick out. So I call this kind of inside zone kick. Showed this a couple different times. You showed this with a couple different kind of big body tight ends. This is definitely a play that is going to be successful if the Niners let it be successful. So let's run through that real quick. And there's a couple versions of these we want to go through. So here's the first one. Again, offensive linemen are going to try to get to the second level here, unless they have a guy directly in front of them. And then you're going to get the kick out block from that big tight end, 81 or 80, I think it's 81. Yep. So you're going to see it again from the other side. All right. Linemen, the Colts are primarily kind of outside zone scheme. They do run a little bit of power from what I saw from just looking at the film from this past week, but primarily it's outside zone. We'll then show kind of an outside zone / kind of buck sweep that they do as well. Again, offensive line trying to get to the second level unless they have a guy in front of them, and then you get the kick out block from the big tight end coming across. All right, same play, same idea, same concept that they're trying to get across on this play as well. All right, there's that kick from 81 coming across the formation. John Taylor is obviously going to be the guy that you need to stop. He's going to be the focus on the Colts offense. But same concept, same idea, and it's something that we're going to see tonight against the Niners. Nice, that was a nice jump cut by JT. All right, then the next play is going to be what I call superpower. So you're going to get a pull from both the guard and the tackle, or sometimes it's the guard and somebody else, in order to get both those guys, as you see, both the guard and the tackle are going to be coming over and running that power formation. So they get that extra blocker, right, in the zone, right. So there's a nice little example of kind of some people call it gut. I call it superpower. Depends on who you are and what you're going to call it. All right. Seattle does a good job plugging up the offensive line and making sure there's not really any holes, even though they had two blockers coming across. Same idea, coming from a different angle, so you can really see that guard and that tackle pulling over. They do like to pull the guards a lot, the guard and the tackle together as well. Um, all right, so then we're going to switch to a different play, and this is what I call kind of buck sweep because they're going to be pulling both the guards. You might call it outside zone with pullers, but it's going to be a way for them to try to get to the outside. So the idea here, go back to my drawing, is you're going to get the action's going to go this way. So he's going to try to come across and clear this. He's going to try to pull out here, and then this guy's going to try to come up, and he's going to clean up anything on the inside. But the whole motion is to the outside. They're trying to take this to the outside to get Taylor to the outside. So that's what you're going to get from this play, and they ran it a couple different times, and I thought they did it pretty successfully. So let's see it in action. So there's a pull. You get a pull from both of the guards. They're trying to get to the outside and seal that outside. Seattle does a good job of crashing down on that and not letting him get to the outside. 81 wasn't able to kind of hold that edge. But again, you're going to see it again from here. You're going to get a double guard pull to the outside, doing that kind of outside zone, buck sweep type of idea. The goal is for them to get outside, but he has the ability to kind of cut it back inside as well. So it's going to be the same thing here. Again, you're going to get this idea of your action is going to be coming this way. So he needs to seal. He needs to come down and try to help seal. He needs to pull out. This guy's going to come up and he's going to try to clean up kind of anything on the inside. And then Taylor's going to have the ability. What do I do? Do I go to the outside or do I cut that back inside? He has a tendency to want to cut this thing inside because the edge is not getting washed out. So this defender needs to make sure he keeps this outside contained and doesn't let Taylor get up here to the outside. And he does a good job of that. So when Taylor sees that, he's going to usually take that thing and cut it back right back up the middle. You see in action. You do see a lot of motion action from them. They like to take their slot wide receiver and have him running kind of all over the place to kind of switch with the eyes of the defenders. So again, same thing here. You're going to get that double pull action from the guards trying to get to the outside, but you'll see Taylor cut back inside when he sees a hole. And Taylor does have good vision, so that's definitely something I have to deal with as well. The last play, this is one that's really interesting to me because Rivers is going to come up and he's going to talk and he's going to switch this design, right? So right now, as it's played out, if he didn't change the play, he's going to take this and he's going to run this to the left. But what he sees here is three defenders. So he has three defenders on the left-hand side of the line. So obviously this is not going to be good for the offense. So what he does is he comes up and switches it. But Seattle does an amazing job of understanding what he's trying to do and they flip back to their kind of normal base formation. This is more of a pass rush formation where you got three guys on the left side. Let's get back the other way so I can kind of draw up a little bit for you guys. So let's get out of full screen. So what usually is happening here, what they're going to do is they have three guys on this side. So to me, rush, rush, rush. Right, this is the linebacker type, and he's usually just here kind of in run support, and then he's usually probably bail out. He might come in depending on what Seattle's doing, and then he's rushing. So the idea here is you're going to get 3-on-3 here. This guy might come across the face of the center, and then you're going to get hopefully a one-on-one matchup between one of these three guys with these three guys, right? So that's the normal idea. But what happens here is Rivers sees it and he realizes that's not going to work. Nope, not going to work. So what he decides to do is he's going to flip it. So he's going to flip Taylor to the other side. And these guys realize it, and you're going to see one of these guys, I can't remember who it was, they decide that no longer going to be playing this defense. They're going to come up, and he's going to actually just stand up here. All right, so you're going to have that normal kind of defensive line with 4-4-4 guys. So he ends up switching it up, which I thought was really interesting. So I want to take you through that and let you see how that looks. So go back to full screen. You're going to see it. Rivers realizes, hey, I got a problem here. I got to switch the direction that we're going to go. And then these guys in the middle realize, hey, we're going to switch up and we're going to go back to our base defense, right? And we still have our linebacker up. He's in run support here. So this is back to the base defense because they realize, hey, he's switching the location of where the wind's going to go, which is really smart by Seattle to do. And you did see Rivers a couple different times come up and switch either the play side or what the play was going to be, right? It was mostly on run plays. I just saw a couple plays that he did this, mostly on run plays. It might have been one pass play, but don't hold me to that. But this focus on he's going to switch it if he sees something that he feels like is wrong. So they're giving him the ability to do that. So they're giving him that strength, which is a good thing, which is a smart thing for Indianapolis to do. So they switch it back, and then it's a problem, right? So Seattle's all up in there. They know runs coming. They've moved to the correct location. They understand, okay, and you're going to see it right here. So they're lined up originally. Rivers changes the play. Then 99 and 91 realize, hey, they're going to run the other side. We got to get back to our base formation. So 91 goes over the left so they can do their normal, one tech and a three tech, and they end up plugging this thing. So that was a big thing that I thought was a good pickup by Rivers, but even better pickup by Seattle. So overall, tonight as we prepare kind of for the game, the biggest things that I saw was Rivers is decent. He's good enough. He's going to hit people in stride. He's going to make decent throws. He does get a little happy feet if you get pressure in his face. So for the Niners, it's super important for them to get pressure in his face and make sure that he is struggling to kind of hit his first read, because he's really been one read, two read maybe, and then check down, throw away. So he's not going through a full line of progression from what I saw in the pass game. The pass game isn't that amazing to me. I mean, I feel like you have Warren in the middle as a tight end who's going to be a threat that we're going to need to stop. And then Dobbs, I feel like is going to be running around kind of all over the place. So overall, for a 44-year-old guy who hasn't played in a couple of years, I was pretty impressed, but I wasn't that surprised because he was so good in the league for so many years. So it's going to really come down to stopping Jonathan Taylor in the run game, and hopefully they realize they need to stack the box more. One other question for me coming into tonight is this idea of how do the Niners go against when they're in a double tight end formation? So Warren's pretty much always on the field because he's such a good player, but then they bring in another tight end, 81 or 85, and then we bring those guys in. How are the Niners going to attack that? Are they going to bring in Gifford and have that third linebacker, or are they going to stay in more base with that third safety that they've been running a lot with against some of the heavier formations? So that'll be really interesting to see tonight. So I'm excited to see what the 49ers do, and hopefully they can shut down Rivers and put some pressure on him, and we'll go from there. Hope you guys are doing good. If you like the video, please subscribe and give me a like down below and let me know what other videos you want to see. Hope you're doing well, and as always, go Niners.